the Indiana Fever, they have fired everybody.
Indiana Fever and Connecticut Sun, given her history with the Fever.
Everybody. Their president, their general manager, and now their head coach, Christy Sides, gets bounced after just 2 seasons. This year, she gets Caitlin Clark, leads them to the playoffs. You know, they exit the playoffs after 2 games. It's not much of a playoff run.
Where she played and coached. Many see this as a potential homecoming.
Fever, just a nonchalant little, hey, we've parted ways with head coach Christy Sides. This was kind of telegraphed, though, because there had been a report that came out earlier that Stephanie White, I think she was the head coach of some WNBA team, and she was leaving and had 3 candidates.
And a significant improvement over the recently fired Christy Sides. Christy Sides is out.
Of destinations on her list, and the Indiana Fever were one of them. That came out last week, so no surprise it was telegraphed that the Fever were going to move on from Christy Sides. But it just seems interesting, and I don't know, because I'm someone by the end of the year.
And the Fever are on the hunt for a new coach.
I was good with Christy Sides. Early in the year, I was anti-Christy Sides. I wanted her gone. I thought she was in over her head. By the end of the year, I had kind of warmed up to her and was good and didn't think she needed to be fired. Clearly, the Fever have thought otherwise, and clearly something's going on in the WNBA. I think half their coaches have been fired.
Mm-hmm. Her tenure saw a 33-47 record over 2 seasons, including a 20.
And so the WNBA is recognizing they're at an inflection point, and they're trying to level up, it seems like, with all of their staff. And it certainly seems to be going on with the Indiana Fever, that, hey, they got a great opportunity to level up here in terms of president, general manager, and head coach.
20 mark this year, but the team still got swept in the first round of the playoff.
And they're taking that opportunity. It's what the WNBA needs to do. This head coaching decision, I think, is critical. If they go after Lisa Bluter, the Iowa coach, who retired just 2-3 months ago or 4 months ago after this past season.
In a recent WNBA playoff game, Caitlin Clark experienced an eye poke from Dejonai Carrington, which sparked a lot of discussion. This reminds me of an event that changed my life. In 2016, I was driving to a reunion with friends when a distracted driver ran a red light and crashed into me. My car was total, and I ended up needing multiple knee surgeries. Insurance companies often try to pay you less than what you deserve after an accident, which is why I'm excited to introduce our sponsor, Morgan & Morgan. They're the largest personal injury law firm in the country and can fight for the best possible result for your case if you become their client. Whether it's a minor accident or something more serious, they make sure the insurance company doesn't shortchange you. The best part? You don't pay them up front. If they don't win, you don't pay. If you ever find yourself in an accident, remember your options. You can start your claim now by clicking the link in description below. Thanks to Morgan & Morgan for sponsoring this video. This move has sparked a lot of discussion, especially since the team didn't live up to expectations this season.
And she went to a lot of Indiana Fever games. This is Caitlin Clark's longtime college basketball coach. Love to see the Indiana Fever hire her. Would be good if they hired this Stephanie White, because she's had some success. She's worked for the Fever before. She's a former player. I think maybe she played at Purdue or IU. At one point, she was involved with the Fever organization. I do think both of these women have better resumes.
With stars like Caitlin Clark, Kelsey Mitchell, and Aaliyah Boston, it's surprising they didn't go further.
Than Christy Sides, and I'm just going to keep it 1,000% real. Why I want Lisa Bluter. Caitlin Clark, and I don't know anything about Christy Sides. I really don't, other than what I saw. I don't know anything about her personal life. But I do know Lisa Bluter is married. And I do know that the Indiana Fever, in order to max out Caitlin Clark.
Other names are being tossed around, like Lisa Bluter.
Christy Sides getting fired, and I look at the organization running out their leadership. It screams to me, Nylisa Smith, the power forward that played for them, that has this ongoing relationship with Dejanay Carrington. Seems like she was a problem all year.
Who used to coach Caitlin Clark at Iowa.
And that Christy Sides and the organization couldn't get their arms around it, couldn't fix that problem. Caitlin Clark, if you go look at that Iowa atmosphere that brought out the best in her in college basketball, it was an atmosphere that was very supportive of heterosexual female athletes. I'm not saying it wasn't hostile towards the other side.
However, Stephanie White is still the main focus. Many felt the Fever underachieved this year, especially with such a strong lineup. It seemed like the coaching might have been holding back Caitlin Clark.
You got to have an atmosphere that matches your best player. It's no different than what I said about Larry Bird and the Boston Celtics years ago. It's what I've said about Bill Russell and the Boston Celtics even longer ago. When Red Auerbach was running the Celtics organization and they got Bill Russell, a generational, once-in-a-lifetime talent, they built that entire organization around Bill Russell,
who is an incredible talent. The firing of Christy Sides has really fueled the speculation about White returning to the Fever.
And they ran a lineup out there in the 50s and 60s, all-black starting lineup, first in NBA history. A really black roster to match Bill Russell and get him comfortable. And when they had Larry Bird, what did they do? They put a bunch of white guys that Larry Bird could drink beer around him, build an atmosphere that got the best out of him.
We'll be keeping an eye on the reactions on social media and seeing how this all plays out. The news about the Indiana Fever and Stephanie White isn't surprising, especially if the team is serious about winning a championship. White is an exceptional coach, having been named the 2023 WNBA Coach of the Year and leading the Connecticut Sun to a 55-25 record over the last 2 seasons. The Fever recently parted ways with their coach, Christy Sides, after she guided the team to the playoffs but failed to meet expectations. Despite making the playoffs, it felt like the team underachieved, which likely contributed to Sides' departure. Stephanie White has a strong connection to the Fever, having played for the team from 2000 to 2004 and serving as an assistant coach from 2011 to 2014, including the year they won their only championship in 2012. She also held the head coaching position for the Fever from 2015 to 2016. White is currently in talks with the Chicago Sky and was previously with the Connecticut Sun, but a return to the Fever seems plausible. Christy Sides' coaching style had been criticized, particularly for her timing of timeouts and substitutions, which often seemed to disrupt the team's momentum.